as the last lights dim for the sixth night of Hanukkah, I have to tell you, we just had a great time. We went to a wonderful Hanukkah party where we saw friends and we saw family and we ate lots of latkes. You know, I just love those things. They are like Jewish sin food. Trust me when I say that. They're round, kind of like, not really hash browns, but they're fried potato with mixture. And when you cut into one, they are so crispy and so light and so delightful that I could eat a bucket full of them, but then I'd probably be like not in really good shape. We need a defibrillator. We also eat donuts and donut holes and anything fried. Fried pickles would work. You give it to us fried and we're happy. What Hanukkah is really about, Hanukkah is about oppression. There's a lot of discussion in the Torah and in other religious traditions about oppression. And we still have oppression going on around the world. And we also have oppression going on right here in this country. We've come a long way, baby, but it's still out there. When my great-grandparents escaped Russia and came to this country, they were leaving oppression. And they came and they became American citizens and they wanted to be Americans so bad. And we had a flag for every holiday. And of course, the American flag went up whenever my grandmother could get it up there. And they were so proud to be Americans. But they still had that part of them that always had that sense of oppression, that we're not good enough. And so my generation, what I've tried to do is teach my children that we are as good as everybody else, and nobody is better than us, and nobody is less than us. And that really is one of the messages of Hanukkah, that we all carry within us the same light. We have a light. If you want to call it something else, that's great. I'm not going to ever try to define God. God is way too big. I don't even know if I like the word. I don't like defining a concept like that because that means I'm then trying to control it. And I can't control something like that, something so much bigger. I like the word Ein Sof. I've talked to you guys about that. And that's a Hebrew word for infinity. It means on and on and on without end. So what are the possibilities when I think in those terms? On and on and on again. And everything is possible. But I do believe, and this is just me, and you don't have to agree with me, that we each have a light within us. And it's brilliant. And we let life get in the way so often. We let our prejudices, family feuds, addictions, whatever it is we are attaching ourselves to in a negative way, get in the way of us really embracing and feeling and appreciating that spirit within. Too many people during the holiday seasons, they go to their families' homes. I hear it in the office all the time. And the first thing I'll say is, well, how was your holiday? And I get a list of unfinished business. Things that people have never recovered from with regard to the past. Old grudges, unfinished business, disappointment. And so for me, also this period, this holiday, is about taking a good look at, okay, so what are the things out there that I need to do, that I need to rectify? Do I need to make peace with something in my past? Do I need to talk to that one person that was my best friend, but I had a falling out with? Maybe I've had a falling out with my children, my parents, who knows? But what is it that I need to do Do I need to start seeing the soul in the eyes of others? See, I think that's how we connect on a spiritual level. When I'm really talking to somebody and really listening to what it is they're saying, I can see that soul in their eyes. I can see that spark of light, that sense of infinity with regard to spirituality. And I know at that moment that I'm connecting with that person and that we all are connected. When I am in nature and I'm sitting up on top of a mountain or sitting on the beach, or I remember years ago I was in Alaska and I climbed all the way to the top of this fantastic, fantastic mountain. It took me a while to get up there, but darn it, I got there. And I remember when I got up there, I took in a deep breath and I looked around and I could see for miles around me, and I saw the other climbers climbing too. And I thought to myself, wow, we really are all so connected to the rocks on the side, to the vegetation. Up that high, there wasn't that much vegetation. To the other climbers, we really are all connected. Now, there are those times when we're talking to somebody, and, I got a couple of those that I periodically talk to. And though I love them to pieces, sometimes I don't listen very well. And so I can't see that soul within. I can't see that light within them. And so what happens is I'm missing out on a moment. I'm missing out on a moment to connect. I like to talk to everybody. I like to talk to the person who's checking out my groceries. I like to talk to my neighbors if I'm not feuding with them, which does happen. I just like to talk to people. I want to learn about them and know what their lives are about. And in turn, oftentimes they do want to talk to me about my life, and sometimes they don't. But that's okay. It's a spiritual experience to be able to do that. So that light within us, so many people believe that once the physical is gone, okay, once the heart completely stops and the brain is really dead, that there's nothing left, there's nothing there, absolutely nothing, and we vanish into thin air, and we no longer exist. The me, the I, is gone. Well, I don't think that's the way it works, because the Ein Sof is undefinable. You can't define something that great. So I have no conception of infinity. None. Absolutely none. So how on earth can I define that? Well, I can't, really. But I do know that when I have gone to the funerals of people I've cared about or loved or admired, when I have looked upon their body, I don't see life. There's no life there. No matter what kind of makeup job is done on them, there is that essence of spirit that's not there. Where has that gone? Where did it go? Where did it just disappear? No, I don't think so. Over the years, I've collected a certain type of departing vision that I've told you guys about. And with this sort of departing vision, we can oftentimes see that light leave the physical body. We may see a gray, bluish, smokish looking misty mist leave the body as a physical passing nears. We may see a pastel, colorful mist swirling up from the heart area. We can also see my sister Lila, who passed a year ago this month. She could see the outlining of an individual, the aura of a person when they were passing. And so she would see a gray color or a white color. And she would tell my father-in-law when he was about to make his next trip, she would tell him, "Go to the light, Sylvan. Go to the light. Move on." And being the card-carrying communist, when he was back in Europe, atheist agnostic that he would just glare at her. Well, once he crossed over, he did appear. He appeared to not only my husband, he appeared to this woman who was staying where he had been staying. And she was really cute. And she pulled me aside and she said, "You know, your father was here. He was just here. He walked down the hall and he said hello to me." And this was after Pop had passed. So his light had continued. It had continued. And so when people pass, oftentimes, we will be by the bedside or near them and we will see some form of light. I'm not, like the all know. There are those of you out there who have had some incredible experiences with witnessing the light coming from a person as they prepare to move on. But there's something that leaves. There might be even a smell, a nice smell, a rose smell, some sort of perfumey smell. And that's a sort of light energy sensation too. Or you might feel the touch. You might feel a touch on your shoulders or a kiss on the head or on the cheek. That is an energy of some sort making contact with you before the next leg of the journey continues. And so it's important for us to find something that works for us. So if for you it's your religion or your cultural tradition or a philosophy or nature or whatever works for you, physics is full of examples of light and the light that radiates from the living and even from rocks and stones and sand and things that we see as inanimate. Check it out, look it up, go online. But everything has some light, some sort of light. And that is the focus of the being, of whatever it is that we are connecting with. So when I was up on that mountain in Alaska, I was connecting with everything around me, everything, living and things that I thought didn't have any life. And there was this web of life that connected us all together, and that web was light. And for one moment, I felt not alone. I wasn't alone at all, even though I had climbed up there pretty much by myself. With Michael trailing behind me, he eventually made it. So during this holiday season, whatever your tradition is, when you are with those that you care about, those you love, and you're having a conversation with them, try to look in their eyes. Oftentimes we'll look to the side of their eyes, we'll look below their eyes, we'll look above their eyes, but we won't look in their eyes. Look in their eyes and see how that feels. Sometimes it can be very overwhelming. It's a powerful sensation. What that is that's real connection. So happy holidays to all of you. From my house to yours, many blessings and much, 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 much light.